Aloha, welcome to Aloha Alive. I'm Auntie Dawn, and I'm stoked to be here with these two people that I consider family already. If you're from the state of Hawaii, or even if you're not, we have something called hanai, which means we adopt into the family. It's super, very natural part of the ohana or family in Hawaii. And so today I hanai'd these two kids and they're adult kids. I want to welcome you to Jesse and his wife, Ashlee Jones. They're with a local organization in Hawaii called To the Top Hawaii. And the thing that you guys do that is amazing is you're just a regular, everyday local couple in the state of Hawaii. And they've got a great story, but let me get to the bottom line. They walk out there and they help with houselessness. Like, you're just two working people in the state of Hawaii with a kid, but you take donations, walk out there. Welcome to Aloha Live. Thank you for being Aloha advocates.
Thank you for having us.
You guys rock really, really hard. Now, tell us on your own words. I know I just introduced it, but what is To the Top Hawaii? How did it get started?
To the Top Boy was just it was a play off of my Instagram name from when I was younger, which was To the Top My Friend. And then I don't know, we just broke it off to the Top Hawaii, which was something that we could have used toward helping others who are going through struggle. So for me in my head, I'm like, I'm going through so much crap already, but there's always somebody out there going through something worse. And to be able to, I guess, meet them at that point, you're always in a position to help somebody.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to be a financial thing. It could just be, hi, how you doing? You know what I mean? I hope you have a good day. And that can alter someone's entire day just by you recognizing, connecting to that person. So
That's good.
that's To the Top Hawaii is just, and we use this slogan a lot. There are infinite ways to the top. I don't ever want to say one way is the tried and true way for someone to reach their level of success. So that might be for somebody on the streets, that might be making sure that they get a meal for their family.
It's good.
For somebody else, that might be a job promotion. For us, our goal is to end houselessness, at the very least, decrease it.
That's amazing. Your goal is to end houselessness. Hawaii is recorded recently in statistics as having one of the highest levels of houselessness in the nation. And I've even heard and seen you address the issue of, we hear about, and I helped with a political campaign in 2014 where we recognized that they were sending people here on a one-way ticket. What was your response to that? Because I loved your response to that.
But it doesn't matter where you're from. You're going through something, who am I to close the door on your face?
Come on.
It's like, we recently just helped somebody who was here from the mainland get back home to his family. I haven't even put it online or anything. That was just between me and this gentleman. And he's not able to take himself even to the airport.
Wow.
I had to escort him. I was like, can you guys please let me walk into the gate? Like, wheelchair. So to get him to the gate and for him to stand up and hug me and be like, thank you. I couldn't have done this without you. That's why we do it. So I love this guy.
Jesse, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you both. It's those things that we live for, right? Because the work that you do, Jesse and Ashlee, I call it mission impossible. Most of us wouldn't even look a homeless person or a houseless person in the eye, to be honest. I prayer walk the city a lot on weekends, and there's a lot of houseless people here. And one day I felt really in my heart convicted. Like, all I heard was, you can't even say hi. You can't even make eye contact with that sister or that brother. Dawn, you can do better than this. And one of the life verses I live by, Jesse, and that when I was watching your story and watching you as a young person online, because you guys do use a lot of social media, almost as a weapon, as you said recently.
Yes.
But I see a lot of the actions, and I was so inspired. And my life verse, one of them is Romans 12:21, which says, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome the evil by doing good, not by being perfect, not by being a professional committee member on a state or a national campaign against houselessness, not by having years of experience. It's just do good here today. And so when you dropped off that gentleman and he was able to stand up from his wheelchair, those are the moments that really,
Yes.
they're capstone moments. They're the
Yeah.
top of the Mauna, right? Thank you for doing that.
The whole where the terminal was, where everybody like saw that interaction, like you could just feel it. Everybody like they knew something great just happened. Like he's going home to his family, and like it came so the whole terminal just went quiet. Like they was like in the moment with us as was like we was hugging, and I was like, man, I'm glad you're going home to your family. We managed to get all his belongings together, ship it over, get in contact with his brothers. It was just a
Whoa.
full circle moment for him. He tried to come down here and make it, it's warmer weather from. Do you remember
Is it? I can't remember if it's Maryland or Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
East
So it was real
Coast.
cold. It's freezing over there. It's hard, and he
Harsh.
just wanted to go someplace where it was warmer and he had a better chance. But
Yeah, that
it's hard to do it on your
uncle's
own.
story was crazy
Yeah.
already. So we had met him, or Jesse had met him at the park in Kapolei, and he just started feeding him. Like every so often he would see him, and then I think you asked him what he needed, right? So he would meet you at the Social Security office building. Even if it was weeks later, he's like, "Okay, Larry, come and meet me here next week Wednesday at this time," and Larry would be there
At that
at
time.
that time,
On time.
like in his nicest clothes that he had, and he was like,
Wow.
I'm ready, Jesse."
For
And he
Oh
was,
to
my
get his social
gosh.
security
yeah,
or his benefits, and just something that he couldn't do. He
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
coherent enough to go and talk to somebody at a receptionist for the Social Security Administration building. He wasn't coherent enough to go and talk to somebody about getting his food stamps in order. And he didn't have that support. He didn't have a cell phone. Who can get a hold of him?
Right.
He's on the streets. He's being kicked out of all these different camps. It's very. But I seen him. I kind of knew where his like pace was, so I just stayed with him. And I know people think, "Oh, you're not gonna end hunger by giving him meals," but it wasn't for me to end hunger. It was to build that connection with him.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, he's like, "You know what, Uncle? Hey, what? Is there something you need deeper
Wow.
than just that meal?" He's like, "I could really use my Social Security benefits." I'm like, "Well, meet me at
Holy.
this building 2 weeks, 8:30. I'll go in there with you and we'll get it handled." 2 weeks later, no cell phone, no calendar. He showed up in his like she said, his best outfit. Wait, Jesse, here. Got his
Wow.
hair combed back. You know what I mean? That was cute. And
The best he
the
possibly
best
could
he
Yeah.
put
possibly could, he
forward.
showed
And he
up.
met you
And he
at
met
that,
Yeah.
right
right?
there.
You were gonna take him 9/10 of the way,
Yeah.
but he showed up on the one
That's
tenth
all I
of the
needed.
way.
That's all
But
I
then we
needed.
couldn't find him for a while, so it
Oh,
went.
yeah.
We were able to get his Social Security benefits instated, and then all of a sudden we're like, Where's Larry? Like we haven't seen him in weeks." And so we kept looking for him, and then a month passed, 2 months passed, and they were like, "Okay, something's going on because we haven't heard from him or seen him in a long time."
Right.
And so we were in our house one day. I'm like, "Babe, let's make a video real fast and let's just see if anybody knows where he is
Oh, you
or has seen
posted
him."
it?
Yeah, so we made a video, and that video, like within 24 hours, I don't know how much views it got, but we had
Wow.
so many comments because we didn't have a picture of him. We just had a description of him. And so we're like, "Okay, this is the area that he frequents. This is kind of what he looks like." And we had so many comments like, "Oh, I think I seen him there.
Yeah.
I think I seen him here." But someone actually reached out to him and was like, "No, we have him at our facility here. He got hit by a car,
Whoa.
and he was recovering there." So
Oh.
Jesse went the next day to go see him, and he was like in a neck brace and
Yeah.
like a cast in his leg,
Broke
a full,
some bones in his leg,
yeah.
in his neck, his hand. Like he had a lot of injuries, so he was
Yeah.
like,
Said he woke up in the hospital, so he doesn't really know what happened.
Wow.
He just got run over, and he woke up, and so we were able to find him. I forget what that program was, C4 or
C4. Yeah, it's
Oh.
like right by rest stop.
Okay.
yeah,
So,
by
Wow.
it's
Evole,
okay.
yeah,
Well, thank God.
Yeah.
yeah,
And what I hear in that, and you guys may not even realize this because you're right there in the trenches doing the fighting, but there are times when I've helped people in the past, and and then I don't get a response. And I actually take it personally, which is kind of one of my faults. And in that situation, I would have been like, oh yeah, well, there's another homeless guy who just flaked out. And that wasn't Larry. He was meeting you on that
Yeah.
1/10, right? So for him
Yes.
to go missing wasn't just him blowing
It
you
was,
off.
yeah.
It was he got hit by a car.
Yeah.
So you extended what I call grace, right? I mean, you put that gravy grace all over that thing, and you went out and reached out to him. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about with we are not overcome by evil. You're not trying to fix houselessness in one of the worst houseless states in the nation, Hawaii. You're trying to feed Larry. You're trying to make a connection so that you learn Larry's name, and then you're able to go visit and say, Uncle, you need something more than just this? Oh yeah, I need my social security. So is that something you do as well? I mean, who taught you to do getting their IDs and their social
We
security?
don't know. We figure it out as
That's
we
the
go.
thing.
We probably do it the hardest way possible because we don't know what we're doing, honestly, but we just kind of figure it out as we go.
Because you're not a state agency. You're
We're
not a
not
federal
caseworkers,
agency.
we're
Yeah.
not- so-
You're not social worker trained.
Taking these steps and trying to get people, like, for example, one of the first people we've ever helped, he needed ID.
Okay. That's huge.
Going there, taking him to get a state ID on our own, and paying out of pocket and helping him get through that. You need ID to get your benefits, to get into. You need to prove that you're houseless by showing identification sometimes to get into a shelter. So
Well, you have
can
to
you not
prove-
see?
You have to prove that you're houseless to get into shelters.
Wow. So
So-
I have to have an address for not having an address.
Well, not necessarily an address, but
Sometimes.
you need like this thing from certain organizations. So I think IHS can provide it, Aloha West can provide it, but it's basically a statement saying that yes, they verify that you're homeless.
homeless verification
And so
letter.
certain shelters, like long-term shelters, need that verification in order for you to enter that shelter. And then to get those letters, you need to be. It's easier now, but back then it was harder. They said that you needed to be a client of that organization. But I'm like, but you're telling me they need the letter to be in your organization, but they have to be in your organization to get the letter. So I don't understand how they get this letter.
right. That's mind blowing.
Yeah. So, but they've made it a lot easier, and luckily, like we've made connections with these organizations, so now like we are able to obtain these letters easier. But back then, we were just like, so what do we do? How do we get them into, how do we get them into programs? And it was just
Amazing.
It felt so defeating
just to
for
get
us.
an
Yeah.
ID,
Yes.
which I just yesterday I was out buying stuff. Oh, you need my license? Boom. It's not even a thought for a regular. I won't say regular or normal. I'm sorry, forgive me, but for somebody who's just in the system and I'm great. Here's my ID, no problem. But I can't imagine life without that ID, and that's the people, the ohana you're helping right now.
Yeah. I mean, imagine going to the DMV like now. For me, I hate going there. And I got to
Exactly.
go back like 3 times because they're like, okay, now you need this document. And then I got to run home. And then I come back. They're like, okay, now you need this document, So, I mean,
And if you
it's-
don't have a car or you don't have a license, how are you
Some
going
of them
back
don't
and
even have
forth?
time of day. They don't have a watch. They don't have a cell phone. They don't
Yeah.
have access to power. And it was helping these individuals on their own individual basis. We were able to figure out each thing: how to get the birth certificate, how to get the social security. The fact that I didn't have to pay for that ID. There's a program that pays for IDs for houseless individuals. So it's just that journey of, I mean, like she said, we're doing it the hard way, but we're learning and we're making the connections, and to find out that there's all these other
Yeah.
programs, resources, providers available to help us along the way. Now that they see we're game, we're in
Yes.
it. We got we got our sleeves rolled up, and we're going for it. I think people are seeing that we're more serious, and we're getting that support
Yeah.
now.
And just
You are the
being in
real
the
deal.
trenches, yeah,
Yes.
you get to know people and then you tell them what you're about and they're like, oh, you can do this or we have these programs available. So everything's just a learning experience. So I mean, still, and everyone's different, right? So every individual needs different things. And so we just learn. It's always going to be, that's
It's
why.
not a one size fit all.
Yeah, it's not
Well
it's
said.
hard for us
Yeah.
to build a program when everyone needs different things and you have to approach them differently. So it is just kind of case by case and we just figure it out with them.
Wow, mahalo. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, both of you. It sounds like you're climbing a mountain of humanity every day, but then the learning process and then to have help from the state agencies or the caseworkers or the houseless community saying, here's the letter you're going to need. We're going to make it easier.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you guys been doing this? A couple of years?
The To the Top Hawaii has been an actual organization for the last 2 years, but we've been doing like this kind of stuff for years. I mean, even way before we had To the Top Hawaii, we would always go out and like make meals and go feed people, even on vacation. Sometimes like we would buy groceries and whatever we had left over, we would just like make
Package
sandwiches
and drop it off.
and just
Somebody
drive
doesn't have to go
around.
hungry tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I feel like we've been doing this for and Jesse, I mean, it goes even way back with Jesse. Like when he was younger, he would take in like his friends that didn't have places to stay. So I feel like for Jesse, this has been like a lifelong thing for him to
When I had
do.
friends who ran away, who was runaways because they were just in a poor living environment, or maybe they just wanted to avoid an area where there was high in drugs. So I was like, hey, I just need a place to stay and get away. I'm like, yeah, of course. Pull up on the couch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep the house clean. That's it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, thank you for that. That kind of makes me pivot to the other thing I was going to ask you about, Jesse. I was listening to part of your story the other day, and you said, because I want to ask where this all started. And you started with that, Ashlee, saying, I think Jesse's been doing this almost his whole life. Now, can you tell us where this started, why you started doing what you're doing, Jesse? Because here's one of the lines I wrote down. He's been fighting since elementary until his 20s. You're now 37 years old, which means you've been fighting for more than half of your life on the streets. I look at you, I kind of see kind of a hardcore guy. I wouldn't normally walk up to a person like you on the street, but because I know you through our experience together, you've been fighting for half of your life. Well, I won't give away the end of that. How did you get started, sir? And where are you from?
I grew up in Waipahu area, a more low income neighborhood, Pupupui to be more specific. And if people don't know where that is, it's right next to Aniani.
Ooh.
My mom, being the amazing mom that she is, she wanted to ensure that I graduated on time and kind of follow in my older brother's footsteps. And we're gonna get you into Pro City High School. That's where your brother went. That's where he graduated. And I was like, and she managed to do it using grandma's address, getting to school. I graduated on time, long story short.
Wow.
And she got me through that.
That's
She
huge.
felt like if I was hanging out with the friends and the environment I was in my Paul, I wouldn't have graduated on time, and I would have been in more trouble than I was already putting myself in to begin with. From just being bullied, I guess, at a younger age, from the way I sometimes might have dressed because I just was wearing the same clothes. I mean, that's all mom could afford, and I
Right.
appreciate that. She took care of the core duties as a mother. She made sure the roof was always over my head. She made sure I had 3 meals a day. You know, she made sure I went to school. She really is the one who taught me
She
to
a
be
single
grateful
mom?
for everything. Yes, for
Wow.
everything I have. She raised me and my 2 brothers. She raised 3 sons on her own. My dad is still in the picture, and he did what he could and had done as a father. But it was my mom who raised and turned us into who we are
Yeah.
as I think good sons. Now,
Huge.
yeah.
I have so much respect, Jesse, for you saying that about your mom. And I have a huge amount of respect for single parents in general, whether that's a single dad or a single mom. But I have 3 little sisters growing up, and 2 of them became single moms, and watching the absolute struggle, right?
Yes.
And especially with their boys. And girls are hard too, but I just much respect and love to your mom. And you can give her a shout out. I
Yeah,
hope she
Yes.
watches
Mom. I'm the
Thanks, Mom.
favorite.
She is.
I am really the
She is.
favorite.
If
I
yeah,
love it.
Yeah, she'll side with her.
She
Like,
always
what
got
did
my
you do to
back.
her now?
Yeah. Oh my
You better
gosh.
take care of that one.
I love
Yeah.
it.
She's my girl.
Yeah.
Love you,
Yeah.
Mom. Thank you for
Love
what
you,
you did
Mom.
and bringing up this superhero who then scored a super shiro at his side.
Yeah.
Now, Jesse, you grew up, and as soon as you said Waipahu, I was like, okay, dang, right? Scrappa's Union, Scrappa's Block right there. Can you tell us? I think some of it was bullying. Some of it, we have to recognize that there is racism in the state of Hawaii. And so I've heard you say you don't look Samoan, you don't look Tongan, right? You don't look Micronesian.
Yeah.
You're an Asian kid growing up in Waipahu.
Yeah.
What happened? And what happened?
It's just because of the way I look. I didn't have at the time tattoos. I wasn't muscular whatsoever, any of that.
Wow.
So a lot of times people would come at me, would run me over, would I can just remember, I'm just going to recall one event in elementary where a kid would just come up to me and start wailing on me for fun, just for fun, and then walk out the classroom. And at, I wasn't the type to tattletale, you know? So I took those hits and I just went back outside of the classroom, no, and nobody knew. So it was being just treated like that, like somebody's punching bag. Eventually, you build, I don't know, almost vengeance, resent, and I eventually learned how to defend myself, and to the point where I may have lost my way, but I hated bullies, like with the deepest anger for them. So it got to the point where I would go out and intentionally look for bullies, and and cause them the same pain they caused me. And along that righteous path of trying to do something intentionally good, I did lose my way here and there. And there was just some fights that shouldn't have happened.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how like incarceration happened.
Okay.
And
So you were incarcerated.
mhm.
What was the sentence?
uh 18 months. I think we spoke on it earlier, but they were trying to slam me for 10 years because of the
Oh,
severity of, and the fact that all three cases happened like
Within a
weeks,
year. I mean,
months apart.
yeah.
Like, so I got lucky that they consolidated it. I didn't get tried for a second, third offense. It was like, hey, we didn't even get a chance to hit you on that first one. We didn't even get a chance to hit you on that second one. Is like, if you get one more, my
wow.
public defender's like, if you pick up one more charge, there's nothing I can do for you. I'm like, I've been fighting my whole life now,
I
and I never got into any trouble. So to me, I was like, what is going on?
It
It's
was
like,
back
how?
to, I mean, God, that year, I swear, he was getting arrested like every few months. Like they were picking him up to,
wow.
that was a crazy
And
year.
how
Yeah.
old were you at that time, Jesse?
Was that
I was 23, so you got to
2013?
have been like 25 or 26.
Yeah,
Wow.
mid
So you're in your
20s.
mid 20s now, still fighting really
Yeah.
hard. I can
Yeah.
see where it started in a childhood of being bullied, and like you said, it became almost a resilience vengeance where you then went and started hunting bullies and picking the fights.
Yeah.
And so in my estimation, there's a higher power that let all three of those arrests and then get balled up together. So you didn't have, as you just said, a first violation, a second offense, a third, because they do start snowballing and getting worse and worse. You would have been
Yes.
serving time still.
If that was mainland and you got first, second, third offense, that's a life sentence. So I'm just lucky I was in Hawaii and that it was consolidated to only one
Wow.
sentencing, which was first, second, third degree assault, unauthorized entry, motor vehicle, and then was it
Promoting.
promoting a dangerous drug? I had some stuff on me at the time, so
Now, were you two together at the time? At that time?
it was like kind of, we were dating
Yeah, I
still.
think we were like a year into dating.
Oh, wow. So that's why
Yeah.
you saw he was getting arrested like every few months.
Yeah, I mean, we were together when it would happen. So like when because all of them were from fighting, right? So it would be like we were young back then, so we were drinking a lot. We were in town, and town is just never a great environment, especially after 12. It's never great.
No.
Everyone's like fueled on alcohol and drugs, and you know how it is, like emotions. So yeah, so we were there. I was there for all of it. So I wasn't surprised when he got arrested because I was there when all of the incidents happened.
Now, what happened at that point? You get convicted. They were looking for 10. You ended up getting 18 months, but you didn't know that when you got sentenced. Were you still dating at the time?
Yeah, so we were dating and
Posted bail, which was
posted bail
like
many times.
total like
Many,
about a
many
hundred
times.
thousand
Yeah.
dollars
Me
in
and bail
bail.
bondsmen were besties at some
Yeah,
point.
I
Yeah.
got frequent flyer T-shirts
Yeah, we got
and
like
stickers.
swag from them.
Like,
What was it? A1
I love that we can
bonds?
laugh
A1.
about it
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
but it is
yeah.
no
Now, yeah.
joke.
No, it's
We're
not a joke,
just-
but
Yeah.
you can laugh at your pain.
Yes, once
Um,
you've been through it.
Yes.
But we were dating, and then all his court cases were happening. And then the public defender was like, okay, this next one is going to be your sentencing. So um, that's when we decided to get married because he was skeptical if I was going to
What?
stay. Yeah, I
You
know.
chose to marry him right
I
then
did.
while
Yeah.
he's facing a conviction,
Well,
possibly
I
10 years.
I knew already from my public defender that he's like, hey, you're looking at anywhere from a year to 10 years, and they're pushing for that 10. And knowing that, yes, we're dating, yes, we've been together for what, a year at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, I've said it before, but she's in her prime, and for me to take that away, I felt selfish. It's like, why would I do that to her? I shouldn't drag somebody down with me with for my own crap that I'm doing. So it's like, if you're gonna leave, it's like, for me in my head, it's like, it's gonna be heartbreaking for me. In
Yeah.
there, I'll probably spin out and lose my shit. So I was like, you can go, as no hard feelings. I respect you
Yeah.
and whatnot. And
And she's
uh
a beautiful woman and she's like young 20s.
yes. And she's like, no, I'm here. It doesn't matter if it's 1 year or if it's 10 years. And I was like, no, it's okay. He's like, no, let's get married. And I was like, what?
Holy
Yeah.
wow, Ashlee.
Yeah.
Even if he got 10 years in prison, you were in.
I was in.
You're
Yeah.
locked and loaded. You're good to go.
Well, my mentality
Yeah,
was
what
that
was your thinking?
I mean, I was 23, so I was young and in love, like in love,
Absolutely.
and so, but also I was there through, like I said, with all the incidents. So I didn't think it was fair that I'm like, I'm not going to leave because I was part of the problem too, and like, I'm going to be there for you because we, even though I wasn't the one physically fighting,
Mhm.
we were there together, so,
Mhm.
and I just seen, I mean, not getting too us off subject, but we were fighting our own demons at the time, but I would see glimpses of Jesse that I was like, this is the guy or the man that I want to be with for the rest of my life because I see the potential, I see the good in him. Um,
Wow.
it wasn't all the time, so because he was fighting his own demons, but like
Sure.
glimpses of sobriety, I'm like, yeah, if this is the guy I can get all the time, then
Wow.
yeah, this is the one I'm supposed to be with.
I love that you touched on that, and maybe it was an aside that you meant to come back into, but I think it's important for us as an ohana, as people watching, and our Aloha Alive audience is an ohana family, that, and I often speak this to young people,
Mm-hmm.
that if you meet someone who has, and it takes a woman who has vision to see a potential in a man,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw glimpses, you said,
Yeah.
that if this man were to remain sober,
Mm-hmm.
and I see the man that you believed and that you saw today
Mm-hmm.
sitting right here at this desk
Yeah.
with us, but you had to have that vision.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying to the young people is, there are times, even if you're young, it doesn't matter, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to see it. And when you invest into that vision as you have,
Mm-hmm.
Ashlee, that's why we have this hero sitting with us today.
Yeah.
And that's why we have a Shiro still sitting with him today, because you chose each other.
Yeah.
And there is such a good man in this, because part of what I saw when I was watching you on different podcasts, Jesse, when I have seen you at the cafeteria doing rallies or in meetings at Honouliuli Middle School where we both serve, when I saw you speaking to the Nanakuli High School rally recently, I see a great man of goodness, just really humble, but you do superhero acts. And I saw that quote where you've been fighting since you were in elementary until into your 20s. And I thought to myself, this man has a supernatural sense of justice, because you weren't just fighting to be a bully or to be mean or to lord it over others. You were fighting for your own life in the beginning. You were fighting for others. And now you're still fighting, Jesse, to bring justice to the streets for those who cannot defend themselves, the houseless. And so you quoted Gandhi.
Hmm.
You said, right? What is his quote that you
I
love?
like to change it up a little bit, but I know it's be the change you wish to see in the world, and be making trying to make it more local verse. I was like, be the aloha you wish to see in the
I
world,
love that.
and to lead that example. I shove my son into a lot of these podcasts because I've know what that struggle is growing up, whether it's a broken home or just finances and that
Yep.
struggle you go through, and he's gonna have to face those certain demons as well as he gets older. So if I don't find a way to address that now, then he's gonna have to deal with that, and I wanted to be able to lead with that aloha and show him like, hey, there's another way. There is another way. You don't have to do what dad did. You don't have to grow up rough, rugged, or put yourself through this mess. It's like, just listen to the story. Don't walk through the shoes. Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's huge,
now
Jesse.
I just want him to know he has options. You always have a choice, and you don't have to. You could, and you see which way that can lead you,
Hmm.
or you could also just be a kind person
Yeah.
and see where that leads you.
That's good. And that's the shirt you're wearing. Be kind
Be
to
kind.
everyone.
My mom bought that for
Her
him.
mom.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's one of my
you.
favorite shirts. So
I
yeah, I'm
love
never
it.
throwing this
I
away.
can't remember the story, but I think it has to do with a girl that has special needs, and she creates the shirts
Oh,
and sells them. Yeah, I wish I
wow. I've
remember her
heard that
name.
story. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know her name either, but I have heard that
yeah,
story.
and she gives like a
That's
little note when you
huge.
buy the shirt. It was really cute. She was so excited
Wow.
to get that.
Wait, so you're his mom's favorite. Are you her mom's favorite then? Is that the swap that happened? Because she bought you your favorite shirt.
No, I'm still a favorite. I'm everyone's
She's
favorite.
everybody's favorite.
She's the most MVP favorite
Yeah.
daughter
Yeah.
status. Thank you for saying that. And I'm going to quote you if that's okay, Jesse.
Please.
Be the aloha you wish to see in the world.
Yes.
Because this is Aloha Alive. And
Yes.
basically, we're here trying to share aloha because the heartbeat of aloha needs to get stronger and stronger.
Yes.
And that's why I was so led to bring the two of you here, because I watched how you literally, spiritually, physically, financially walk out aloha every day in the darkest valleys, in the hardest places, and you're still choosing that. So, Jesse, back to where you were a child going through those dark valleys by yourself, and now you're not a child, you're a man with a son, Riley, and you're helping him walk through, because that's real. Every parent wants to see their child work. Their child's going to struggle. They're going to go through hard times. Bullying is off the charts, even here in the state of Hawaii, or if you're watching from around the nation or even anywhere else on all points possible around the world. There's bullying, there's meanness, there's evil. But when we walk our children through that and show them how to be kind and have choices, you said so much in that one paragraph. Then they can make that choice of, because you quote Gandhi, you changed it to Jesse. And I grew up idolizing Wonder Woman. Sorry, I did. I was a kitty of the 70s, a lady of the 80s. And it was the old Wonder Woman with like the cape, which was a big flag, right? But she would say, we all have a superpower. We can use it for evil or we can use it for good. I hope you use it for good. And so that's kind of where Auntie Dawn comes in with Choose Aloha program in the schools. Is you have a lot of energy, guys. You can either use it to mob somebody and be evil, or sell drugs, or cheat on tests, or use Chat GPT, AI. We can do all those things, or we can choose to connect, be pure, be true, be present,
Yes.
right? To make these choices. And those sound so simple, don't they, Jesse? Is I'm just going to be present right now and have a good conversation with you, give you good eye contact. One of my favorite memories with Jesse, and there are few, I don't know you guys super well, but I saw you standing in possibly the most terrifying place on earth. And that wasn't at a physical fight, but it was at a spiritual fight. It was on stage in front of a bunch of Nanakuli High School students
Can't imagine.
and the teachers. And I am a speech teacher by trade. And the number one fear on earth is not death, it's public speaking. And Jesse stood in the middle of this. It was a circular like courtyard at Nanakuli High School. And he's speaking to, 100 plus, 200, 300 kids and the teachers all by yourself. It's the loneliest, most impossible, hardest place to stand. And you were trying to impart ha, which is the breath of life in aloha, right? And you were trying to speak into their spirit man, their spirit woman. And there's almost like this trembling that happens in the atmosphere. You can feel it, right? Like, which way is this going to go? You're doing your best. You're like this warrior up there fighting. You've got a sharp sword. You're speaking good words. You're speaking aloha. And then which way is it going to go? And you stood there valiantly, and they're all waiting because everybody's just in their own little place, right? In their own space. And I stepped up and I was like, wait, we're not done yet. And then you said thank you. He's wrapping up. He finished and he was about to step off, but he's a very respectful young man. And as I went to go hone you, I said, can I just ask you one more question? And you said, oh yeah, no worries. Go ahead. And I stood there with you. And then when you opened your mouth, you had already landed the touchdown. Then you went for the Heisman. Then you went for the MVP. Then it's like we won heaven. And I saw you transform in that moment. And I know that the students felt it as well. So when you talk about helping your son Riley walk through the difficulties of life, I just think there's so much goodness to a father who can do that for his child. And I want to bless you and speak that blessing over you, because you may have grown up in a home where you didn't have a father, but you're figuring it out as you move forward. And you're doing the best you can Nobody on earth gets a manual. We don't get a textbook. We don't get the list that says, here's how you're going to raise your son as he's a baby, as he's a toddler, as he's a preteen or a teenager. But Jesse, you're doing that. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you that even though you didn't necessarily have a father, and I know he's still in the picture, that's totally cool, wherever that is, but you're now fathering a community. You are a makua, a father to Hawaii. And so stand in that strength. And I hope that that blessing really sticks with you when you're walking in the stink areas, right? When you're in the disgusting public bathrooms trying to clean up, or when you're at the night markets greeting people. Thank you for being a father to our Hawaii.
Thank you.
I got a couple more questions for us. How can we partner with you folks to become an Aloha advocate? I love that you said that. Thank you for my hat for To the Top Hawaii.
Yeah.
How do we become Aloha advocates? Because maybe we're talking to somebody out there who's watching and saying, gosh, I don't have a story like Jesse. I don't have a bunch of tats. I'm not really muscular. I don't want to go into like Howbush area in Eva Beach, or I don't want to go out to the Waianae Boat Harbor. How can I become an Aloha advocate and partner with you guys?
Oh, I think Aloha Advocate is just any type of kindness that you can share with others. It doesn't have to be ending some world problem or like going out and feeding the homeless or houseless, but it's just little acts of kindness that you can do every day. So choosing Aloha, when it's not your first choice.
Yes.
So
that's
that
good.
is an Aloha Advocate to us. I don't know.
I say Aloha Advocate a lot when I go and I talk to the kids at schools, shelters, and other community centers. But I mean, when I just was reflecting on this the other day, I was like, I don't really go into detail what that stands for, at least from my standpoint. And I've been trying to preach that more now too, and it's by just sharing the experiences where I have a chance to advocate for Aloha. And I just want to share an experience where in the past, if somebody were to get in my face and they were confrontational, I was never one to step down from combat. Let's
You
go.
wouldn't back
You're
down,
bigger,
right?
you're stronger, you're older. It didn't matter. I
Dang.
had a bone to pick. Now, to advocate for Aloha is like, how can I address that same type of energy with Aloha? And I use this example of me being in a bar, and this is after jail. Me being in a bar, and a guy comes up to me, and he's just like, "Oh, where you from?" I was like, "Oh, West Side." "Oh, I heard you guys can bang, yeah." And I was like, "We're all right. We're okay." And he's looking around the bar. I can tell he's kind of
Oh
sizing me up,
no.
like he wants to throw down. And I think you were there that night. I'm not too sure. I don't want to mention the
Probably.
bar's name, but and then so I was like, "Bro, how about I just buy you?" And the bar's full now. Aunties and uncles are singing karaoke. There's a live band. The bar's not even here anymore. I don't really care. It's hibiscus.
Oh
And
wow.
then, so
Serious.
the bar's not even here anymore.
Of course, Jesse says this like I would know all the bars, right? No, I'm just joking, but that is serious.
I talked to him like, how about I just buy you a beer? We not ruin everybody's night. But if you want to, I'm game. And he turns, he looks at me, he looks to the crowd, he looks back to me, and he's like, I take one Heineken. That's it. It's like that. You know what I mean? And
Wow.
it's like events like that. And I know I get tested every single time.
Yeah.
Even being in the service industry, and I work at Roy's Coatlina, and you get tested by customers all the time,
Right.
trying to blame you for every little thing, whether if it's because they're late to their reservation or what, and you to still address them and treat them with humanity, love, and respect is like, those are just more chances for me to show my character, and
Yeah.
that you can still address them with love, even if they're trying to bash you. And
Wow.
stuff we do online, for example, too. We're showing that we're feeding people. You'll have somebody chime in on the comments, be like, "Is that okay with Department of Health?" And I was like, and to still show them love. And that's just to advocate for Aloha is, I think, through our actions, addressing when people get in your face that are,
Yeah.
am I making sense?
Yeah.
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 Huge.
Yeah.
That is just through simple actions. That's good.
Yes.
And even specifically to coming alongside with you guys at To the Top Hawaii, because I just watched recently some of your posts. Well, I watch you guys a lot. I'm your stalker. I'm your favorite stalker, Auntie. But I saw your videos. Thank you, Ashlee, talking about how you sort some of the donations, and if you could get some volunteers to come out, maybe 2 or 3 volunteers. That's not a
Yeah.
lot, right?
No, I mean, a lot of the things that we do are sporadic. Like we collaborate with a lot of other organizations. So you'll see
good.
mostly Jesse everywhere. So
Everywhere. That's why I was like,
everywhere,
wait, he
doing
works at
all kinds
Roy's?
of, I know.
You have a job and you do To the Top Hawaii.
And our markets.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
right. The night market.
And real
Yeah.
estate.
Oh
real
my!
estate,
So
yeah.
you're a normal, regular working couple, and then you do To the Top, which is you're not paid for that.
No, that's, if anything, we spend more money than we get
Yeah.
donations, luckily, from the community. Like we'll get clothing donations, food donations, sometimes monetary donations. And so whatever monetary donations we get to like buy food on the days that we don't have any sponsors, or like sometimes like some of our friends on the
Don't have
streets,
clothes or a
yeah, they're like,
tent.
oh, our stuff
And
just
we had
got
that
stolen.
monetary savings on the side that we use specifically to aid and help the houseless. So I don't put this out there enough, but I go out in the community at any chance I have to try and help anybody else's cause.
Yeah.
That's my thank you, because when we reach out for help,
Yeah,
almost
instantly.
instantaneously, I need
get
uncle
something.
needs blankets, auntie needs diapers. Somebody will message me that day, sometimes that within that hour.
Wow.
So for me, that's a thank you. So I'll go to the beach clean, I'll go to the rally, I'll go to
Sign
whatever it
waving,
costs.
Timely,
right?
Yes.
And I love that part of what I see with you folks is you kind of have a hui or a family of people. Like
Yes.
we have Kikoa from Pure Aloha,
Yes.
right? You have Trisha from My Sister's Keeper.
Love her,
Yes.
yeah.
Do you have other people you want to give a shout out to?
Oh my
Because
gosh,
that
so
hui,
many.
as you just said, Jesse, you got backup instantaneous. It's
Yes.
like you are in a fight and you turn around. I'm not by myself. I got a tribe.
Yeah.
But this is the Aloha Advocate
Mm-hmm.
tribe, right? We're the A team. We're the Aloha team,
Mm-hmm.
and we got your back. Anybody else you guys want to give a shout out
So we
to?
gotta make sure we don't forget.
The list could go on forever, but and I do apologize if I forget anybody. But I mean, just Andrea Topola for helping us with connecting us to providers, essentials,
And her team.
her
Yeah,
whole team.
Kika, Jeannie,
Kika,
they're
Jeannie.
amazing. They do
Yes.
so much work.
Me in Hawaii, Mark, he always catches our
Yes.
back when we need to get a message out. He's like, "I got
He
you.
posts
Let's
it.
go."
Isaac
Yeah.
right.
too. Isaac from Hungry
Isaac,
Hungry
Hungry
Hawaiian.
Hawaiian,
Yeah.
Hawaii Watch Live,
There's Kikoa, Al.
Hawaii entrepreneurs,
Hawaii entrepreneurs.
Hawaii creators. Like they're on us. They're like, "Oh, you need
Ernie,
help?"
we
And
can't
those are
forget Ernie.
titans of
Yeah.
IG,
Yes.
Instagram influencers in the state of Hawaii who use their influence for good.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
they blow it up big time. And you'll
Yeah.
see it on Mean Hawaii. You'll see it on Hawaii, HHHN, right?
Yeah.
They do so much with you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really good to see that that heartbeat is strong. Is you're not fighting by yourself for all of these voiceless, houseless. We're going to fight with you.
Yes.
And like you said, Hawaii, we show up for our own. We do. I just thank God for that.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we gave some shout outs. And as he said, it's kind of like putting the pressure on you, right? Like at your wedding where you're like, I'm sorry, Mom, I forgot to say your name. But you did it. You got it good. So what now? How can we get involved? You guys are, I want to make a specification here, a nonprofit, right? To the Top Hawaii is a nonprofit.
Yes.
So if we wanted to make a donation, it could go there. Or you guys also do a lot with GoFundMe when you have a cause. I've seen that. Is that true? Can you speak to that?
We have,
Wanna take that?
so sometimes we'll make specific GoFundMes for certain people, but now we do have like our own, it's kind of like a GoFundMe for nonprofits called Zephy. So it's a link on our Instagram, and that's if anyone wants to do like monetary donations. Zephy doesn't charge like a fee. I think GoFundMe, they charge like a fee to
I think
process
it's like
it.
30%. So
Yeah.
I had a hard time doing GoFundMes personally because I grew up really humbly poor too. And so if I'm thinking I have $1 and you're taking 30 cents off the top, that's
Yeah.
a big cut, man.
Yeah, so Zephy, if you're a nonprofit, they don't take any funds from it.
You
You
get
can
the
make a
full-
donation
Wow.
to support
If
the
you want
website.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, like you can do monetary donations, clothing donations, household items. I mean, we take almost anything, you know.
Yeah. except used panties and half jars
No
of
used
puke.
underwear, no open food items.
This sweet lady had to go on Instagram and she said it in a gracious way, but Auntie Dawn's just blunt. We don't got all day.
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
saying your used panties or bibbities, brah. You can just toss it. If
Yeah.
you don't want it, ain't nobody want
Nobody
that
wants
stuff.
it
Yeah,
either.
so don't
Yeah.
do it. So we can come alongside, and you guys do a lot of interesting events. You do like movie nights, I've seen. You have the market nights, which I love. Support local, always support local, right? Which is something that Mark always says. We
Yes.
gotta support the locals, otherwise we won't have locals.
Yeah.
That's why we have such a huge exodus moving to the continent, right? I was told not to say mainland because that's not the mainland, right? I was like, you're right, you're right. So that moving to the continent. We're going to come in for a landing, and this is Aloha Alive. Thank you so much for my makana. You brought me a beautiful lei. Thank you, Jesse and Ashley.
Thank
They
you
also
for
brought me the
ours.
To the
Yeah,
Top.
seriously. And you made this yourself.
Homemade,
I know.
heart-filled.
Handpicked, homemade.
Kua Kenny Kenny.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
I figure if you guys didn't shower, you smell good now. No, nah. You know I love you guys so much, and I did make it with lots of aloha. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're talking about aloha. What is aloha to you? Last couple questions. What is aloha to you? Like, is it a scent, a smell, a flavor, a dish? And then the second part of it is, who is your aloha hero? Who embodies aloha? So first we'll start with, what is your favorite scent, smell, flavor? What is aloha?
What is
ahead.
aloha to me? To me, aloha is a feeling. So it is a feeling of love, of comfort, of accountability. So sometimes it could be, harsh, but
Absolutely.
loving at the same time. So to me, I think that's what it is. It's like a sense of family.
Yeah. It has to be
Yeah.
sometimes a little harsh. I always say, I just said this yesterday. I was in Namea, Hawaii buying something, and the guy was from Hilo. I'm from Hilo. And I said, remember growing up, people used to say, whose child is this?
Yeah.
Or they would say,
Or you would
who's
get
your
scolded,
parents?
yeah.
That's right.
By
I
anyone's-
didn't even know that,
yeah.
Auntie. Now my butt is clenching because I'm about to get the butt whooping of my life, right? Once my parents get found, they might give me a butt whooping.
Yeah.
But back in the day, that meant people in our community cared about us.
Yeah. Everyone held each other accountable. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I love that you brought that up, Ashley.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I think it can be warm and loving and kind, but
Agreed.
also, it holds you accountable
Has
at
to
the same
be.
time. Yeah.
Aloha is not just a welcome mat, it's a force of fire. It's got to be fierce.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I don't want people to think aloha is a sign of weakness, and that's another reason why
on.
we try to advocate for it. You know how much strength it takes for when
Yes.
someone gets in your face,
Yep.
and you to still show them love and kindness, regardless of how they're treating you.
yeah.
So that's what we're trying to imply more, because hate is so loud. It's time for aloha to be just a little bit louder.
Yeah.
In the humblest of way.
Yes.
I'm not saying go out there and wreak havoc.
Right.
I'm saying to show more love.
That's good.
Yes.
And if we don't, I love that you said that. Hate is so loud. And we're seeing that in our nation where hateful forces are being super loud and they're getting all the attention because that's the way the media rolls. They need to sell time and ads. But aloha can be loud too. And in the absence of hearing the opposite side, then weaker minds or even just new minds, like little kids, will watch that and think that the hate is the only thing out there.
Yes.
No, there's a silent majority that needs to get unsilent
Yes.
and speak aloha and live aloha. So thank you for saying that. Is there a aloha hero or an aloha memory that you love growing up in Hawaii? Jesse?
Aloha memory.
And you can't say manapua pork hash.
Not to be self-centered, but it's looking myself in the mirror and making sure I do that I would say like that 8-year-old version of me justice, that kid who had hope and dreams, and not let that go to waste, making him proud and showing him that I can be his hero. So it's looking at myself and thinking, you don't gotta be what the world told you to be. You can be yourself. You can be authentic. You can be a genuine person. And then also that if you like try and look into the future and at your 80-year-old self and make that guy proud too, your 8-year-old self, your 80-year-old self, if both these guys are proud and you're living in your present moment, I think you're in a good zone. Yeah.
Wow.
That's just, I mean, isn't that your biggest critic, your biggest advocate, your biggest enemy, and to face off that person. I'm not in war with you. I'm not at war with you or the person next to me. It's that whole comparison is a thief of joy. It's like, no,
Yeah.
if I can just make things right with myself 1% better every day, I'll be okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
And we are not in competition. We're in completion.
Yes.
Right. And so I love if I really am being the best Dawn, if you're really being the best Jesse, and you are a great Ashlee, then we're going to be the highest aloha we can be for this world. And that is not peer pressure, it's pure pressure. And that's the influence, not infection, it's influence. And we're going to see a completely different Hawaii. I'm going to see a totally different US. I'm going to see a totally different world. That's huge, Jesse.
Yes.
Thank you guys both so much. Once again, ohana, as you're watching today, it's Aloha Alive. We've got To the Top Hawaii, and it's Jesse and Ashlee and Riley. I know Riley would be
And
here if we had
Riley.
room with for one more, their son. They're just an amazing ohana. You can check them out on IG, To the Top Hawaii. And you can also see them just all over the community. You guys have an events calendar. You post stuff all the time.
So if you
Yes.
guys are free, come down, support
Come down,
local,
support local,
food trucks,
local
entertainment.
music, local
Yeah.
food, local
Vendors,
everything.
yeah. So support local, always support local, and that night market is huge. So again, on Instagram, you can catch them To the Top Hawaii, and you can even come out and volunteer and help sort things, whatever it is, or give donations. It's going to be a huge help. So be the aloha you wish to see in the world with To the Top Hawaii. Mahalo and aloha.